It's been a long time since I've seen a Fast and/or Furious movie. The last time I caught up with Vin Diesel and the boys was Tokyo Drift, and Vin wasn't even there. I also saw the first one where they say Nas all the time.
I need Nas. Nas.
Since then, this series has progressed in wild and exciting ways, and I have drifted, drifted, farther away from all things automobile. I've lived in countries that either had robust public transportation, incredibly affordable taxis, or both. I haven't driven a car in about 15 years, and I still don't miss it. All the hassle and expense, broken taillights, replace the timing belt, blown head gasket, oil changes, no thank you. So needless to say, I'm not a car guy, and I was pretty worried going into this movie that I was going to hate it. But luckily, the people who made this movie have about as much interest in cars and racing as I do, which is to say, zero. This movie leaves behind reality in the first scene and never looks back. They also destroy the concept of physics and narrative structure along the way. This movie was written by a 9-year-old, high on juice boxes, smashing his toys together, and it's awesome. I love this movie. I guess I'll talk about the plot. It kicks off with young Vin Diesel being a pit crew member for his dad. His dad pulls in and they have the longest conversation in pit crew history. They argue about unleaded versus diesel. Vin prefers diesel for obvious reasons. Suddenly they remember they are in a race and his dad blasts back into action. He makes it halfway around the track before exploding into a fireball like Emilio Estevez in Free Jack.
3, 2, 1.
Got him. Let's go.
Vin runs out to the car screaming. He's so emotional, he forgets to bring a fire extinguisher. And the rest of the crew holds him back. I guess there was some rule back then about not putting out burning cars or pulling the driver out of the wreckage, despite that literally being the job of the pit crew. Young Vin screams uncontrollably.
They said it was me who was screaming.
Some more stuff happens and we fast forward to a clearly middle-aged Vin Diesel on his farm with his wife and kids. You can tell Vin is retired because he is covering up his signature white tank top. Although it's clearly visible, denoting that soon Vin will be back to his old ways. This is called foreshadowing. Throughout the film, you will be able to ascertain Vin's mood by the color of his tank top, not unlike an angry cuttlefish. He receives the call to adventure from his plucky crew, and we are transported away to a foreign land where cars are magical and Vin's tank top is a gleaming bleached white. It's written into Vin's contract that any scene where he's wearing his tank top, that it must be the brightest thing on the screen. Shenanigans ensue. They discover half of a soccer ball MacGuffin, fight off a small army with assorted handguns, and use the power of cars to escape. They fully desecrate the grave of Sir Isaac Newton during this scene. One car pulls a Legolas, which is something that I thought we had agreed as a society was stupid and we were not going to do anymore. And another car does an Indiana Jones, despite the fact that cars don't have hands. They crash in a way that would liquefy your average human, yet through the power of Vin's magical tank top, they are unscathed. During this scene, I was sadly reminded that The Rock would not be showing up over the course of this film, due to someone in the cast being a candy ass. Now, I had purposefully not watched any trailers for this film. I didn't even look at the poster, so I screamed with joy when Mr. Invisible himself shows up wearing Vin's famous cross necklace. Who could this mystery man be?
Dom's brother.
Yup, his brother. Despite the two characters sharing exactly zero genetic material, I applaud their progressive choice of colorblind casting. It's the wokest thing since Hamilton. They do lampshade it a bit with a throwaway line about him being from the Nordic side of the Toretto family. There's a flashback in this film where young Vin and young John Cena get in a fight about his father's death. It was stipulated in Vin's contract that the actor playing the taller in real life, John Cena, would be played by an actor a foot shorter than young Vin Diesel. Way to go, Vin. Always assert dominance.
Establish dominance over this man.
All right, well, let's not get into that.
What does that mean?
What's this?
At this point, the film becomes a mess of flashbacks, backstories, and cameos. As someone who knows nothing about this franchise, I had no idea who all these people popping up were. Cardi B has a team of sexy mercenaries. There's an Asian sniper dude that's apparently back from the dead. We meet up with the Tokyo Drift dude who's building rocket cars on the set from The Last Jedi. Helen Mirren shows up looking sexy as ever. It was all very confusing for me. I'm in China, and when I recently saw the new Star Wars movies come out, little summaries of characters would pop up on the screen for the local audience to help them follow along. For instance, when Yoda shows up in The Last Jedi, and all the Americans in the audience start screaming and crying and hugging each other with orgasmic levels of nostalgia, the locals were all looking at each other like, who is this green puppet showing up 2 hours into the movie with no explanation whatsoever? I really could have used a pop-up to let me know why Charlize Theron is in a plexiglass box rocking the simple Jack haircut. So there's another big action set piece where a British chick drives a truck full of magnets and John Cena escapes on the world's slowest zip line before smashing through a building by Mr. Diesel.
Could you kill him?
Note, in this scene, his tank top has metaphorically grown into a white thermal shirt to symbolize his emotional insulation from the cognitive dissonance of fighting his own brother to the death. Or maybe it was to hide the fact that it was a stuntman. Later in the film, Vin Diesel and his family crew are being chased by another small army of mercenaries, and Vin has to sacrifice himself to save everyone. Note the black tank top as he falls into the water, thereby triggering a long night of the soul, where he learns to forgive his younger, taller, and more attractive brother. Time for the big final chase scene. Vin and Cena have come to terms that their family is more important than petty squabbles over who is a better actor and who has the brightest tank top. They have to chase down a giant flexible bus tram tank thing before it takes over the world or something. Oh yeah, and this happens. If I can give some life advice to anyone out there who has made it this far into the video, don't watch movie trailers. Holy crap, my jaw hit the floor when they went into space. It was absolutely sublime. Also, that trailer showed literally every single stunt and special effect in the whole movie. It is criminal what they are showing in movie trailers these days. So the movie ends with a cookout where everyone's friends and they all drink Corona, but like any Fast and Furious movie, the only real judge is how many times they say the word family.
I got family.
Family.
In F9, they say it 6 times, so that means this movie gets 6 stars. Overall, it was an amazing experience. I haven't seen anything this campy since Batman tried to dispose of that bomb back in the 1960s. So pop yourself a Corona and watch it with your family. Wait, hold on. Your family.
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 It's family. Your family.